Did you know the original Skyline was released in 1957? Watch till the end for more mind-blowing facts about one of the best vehicles ever made. Now, when the name Nissan Skyline is mentioned, what comes to mind? For some, it often conjures up another name, Godzilla, a moniker bestowed by the Australian motor press on the seemingly unbeatable 1989 Nissan Skyline GT-R in its 1990 racing guise. The Nismo GT-R, after 3 consecutive Group A championship wins from 1990 to 1992, capped off by 2 victories in the Bathurst 1000 in 1991 and 1992. The Nissan Skyline series of automobiles began as the affordable Prince Skyline with a 60 horsepower OHV 4-cylinder engine in the post-war era and evolved into the modern Nissan GT-R with a twin turbocharged engine that produces 10 times that power in the Nismo version. This car went head-to-head with the Porsche after their all-wheel drive 959 in a successful attempt to defeat them at their own game. Nissan engineers developed the ATTESA ET-S all-wheel drive system, which used an electro-hydraulic clutch to distribute more than 600 horsepower of the RB26DETT 2.6-litre twin-turbocharged straight 6-cylinder DOHC engine between the rear and front wheels to optimize handling and best distribute that power. Excited yet? Let's go! The Skyline name, Prince, and a passion for racing. The Prince Motor Company was drawn to motor racing for 2 reasons: to improve their car technology and to boost their company's public reputation. Shinichiro Sakurai, who joined Prince as a chassis engineer in 1952, was heavily involved in the construction of the first Prince Skyline. The Prince Skyline was a relatively basic passenger automobile with a 60 horsepower OHV inline 4-cylinder engine and was available in 4-door sedan and 5-door station wagon versions. Shinichiro Sakurai would go on to be a main factor behind the Skyline GT development until his death in 2011. Dr. Sakurai got a start in motor racing in 1964 when he founded the Prince Motoring Club after a factory team of Prince Skyline S54 GT cars finished last in the Japanese Grand Prix. The Prince S54 was powered by an SOHC G7 inline 6-cylinder engine, which served as the foundation for the Datsun 510 and 24OZ engines. The Skyline S54 GT cars competed against a privately entered Porsche 904 racing car and finished 2nd through 6th despite being outperformed by it. But there would be no second-place winner for Prince Motors, who began development on their own Porsche 904 beating race car, the first-generation Nissan Skyline GT-R Hakosuka. The C10 series, built by Prince at their Okikibu Research and Development Department in Tokyo in 1968, was the first of the Nissan Skyline cars to beat the GT-R moniker. The standard Nissan Skyline was released with either a 1.5 Prince G15 inline 4-cylinder engine or a 1.8-litre G18 engine as an option. The Nissan Skyline GT-R made its premiere in February 1969 at the Tokyo Motor Show. The PGC-10 was equipped with an S20 inline 6-cylinder engine adapted from the Prince R380 racing vehicle and cost nearly twice as much as the more conventional Nissan Skyline brothers. This 1989cc DOHC engine was originally equipped with 3 Weber 40DCOE dual-throat carburetors and was designed to produce 160 horsepower at 7,000 revs per minute and 87 pound-feet of torque. Later that year, the fuel system was upgraded to a British Lucas mechanical fuel engine system, and all of that wonderful power was transferred to the rear wheels via a 5-speed manual fully synchronized gearbox. Second-generation Nissan Skyline GT-R can marry. The C110 Nissan Skyline, the successor to the C10 Hakosuka, made its debut at the 1972 Tokyo Motor Show. The 1989cc S20 inline 6-cylinder engine and 5-speed gearbox from the GPC-10 were transferred to the C110's new, distinctive bodywork. The GT-R version debuted in September 1972. However, manufacturing of the Skyline GT-R was halted in March 1973 due to the global oil crisis. The S20 DOHC inline six-cylinder engine from the first-generation Nissan Skyline GT-R was utilized in the KPG C110 Nissan Skyline GT-R, together with a 5-speed manual transmission. There were only 197 of these automobiles sold in Japan, and none were exported. Nissan pulled out of motor racing, and the second-generation Skyline GT-R would be the last for a long time. The Tekka-men Nissan Skyline R30. The Skyline GT-R name would be gone in the years following the oil crisis, although Nissan continued to produce conventional cars for everyday use, some more attractive than others. The R30 series debuted in August 1981 with a range of 4- and 6-cylinder engines that were mostly shared with other Nissan/Datsun vehicles. The 4-door sedan, station wagon, and 2-door coupe were all replaced by the 3-door hatchback form, which was becoming fashionable at the time. Luxury vehicles of the R30 were available, including one with an L20ET SOHC turbocharged engine and a FJ20 DOHC double-valve 4-cylinder engine, which was the first production 4 valves per cylinder engine from a Japanese manufacturer. The R31 2000 GT-R. The Nissan Skyline R31 series would feature new technologies that would significantly improve future generations of Skyline GT-R vehicles. Both SOHC single-valve and DOHC variants of the new RB engines were introduced in the R31 series. The RB engines were based on the Nissan L engines used in the Datsun 510 and 240Z, which were based on a Mercedes-Benz engine that Prince licensed and then modified into their own design. In the R31 Nissan Skyline, a new steering system called High Capacity Actively Controlled Steering (HICAS) was introduced, which provided rear-wheel steering in addition to the conventional front-wheel steering. The R31 Skyline's HICAS system employed hydraulics to connect the front and rear wheels to give a rear-wheel steering. This was speed sensitive, and it used the vehicle's speedometer to determine the nature of the rear wheel steering to provide at lower speeds. It was ideal for close maneuvering, while at high speeds it was optimized for highway stability and cornering. Third generation R32 GT-R. The Nissan Skyline R32 series shifted its focus from utilitarian to sporting. 4-door sedans and 2-door coupes were the only body variants available. The 90-horsepower 1800cc RXI inline 4-cylinder fitted to the JXI model was the smallest engine choice for the R32 Skylines. The RB series of inline 6-cylinder engines with ECCS, electronically concentrated control system, electronic fuel injection powered the remaining models. The HICAS rear steering system, which was still hydraulically controlled at the time, was added to the R32 Skylines. Fourth generation R33 GT-R. The R33 Nissan Skylines were kept very similar to the concept of the successful R32 series. Once its image as a sporty car had been established, the new R33 was about an inch larger and 4 inches longer than the previous model, and it came with some mandated safety features, including airbags and internal crash bars. Despite the fact that the vehicle was physically larger, Nissan engineers strove to decrease weight wherever feasible to compensate for the additional weight caused by the size increase, as well as the additional safety equipment that had to be installed. Use of more complex metallurgy in body construction, hollowing outside door beams and the rear anti-roll bar, use of plastics for items like the fuel tank, and the use of lighter sound deadening materials were among the tactics utilized to reduce weight. The new model's aerodynamics were also given a lot of thought, both to let it glide through the air more effortlessly and to improve stability by giving it greater down thrust as speed increased. The R32 had several issues with lift at high speeds, and the R33 rectified these issues. Fifth generation R34 GT-R. When we look back to 1998, we can see that personal computers and the internet were becoming commonplace, and that this type of technology was becoming fashionable. Microsoft released Windows 98 to replace Windows 95, and Alta Vista was the most popular internet search engine at the time. Google was not yet a dominant influence. This digital technology was was soon making its way into many aspects of our existence, including cars from the land of the rising sun. Japan, Korea, and Hong Kong were among the countries where this technology quickly gained traction. With a pop-up digital display on turbocharged variants, the Nissan Skyline was one of the first automobiles to use digital technology. The Skyline was given the option of state-of-the-art xenon headlights at the turn of the millennium, as people feared a global collapse caused by the millennium bug, Y2K. 6th generation R32 GT-R. Nissan decided to split the GT-R from the Skyline lineup for the 6th generation of the GT-R. This Nissan GT-R was the first to be shipped to the United States, marking a significant departure from the prior car's pedigree, which could be traced back to Prince Motors' R380 racing car. The 3.8-litre V6 engine now produces an attractively ample 565 horsepower in the basic model and 600 horsepower in the Nismo variant. The R32 GT-R boasts a top speed of 310 km per hour, 193 miles per hour, and a standing to 60 miles per hour time of just 3.2 seconds, making it marginally faster than the very limited production R34 GT-R Nismo Z tuned cars and the quickest standing production GT-R ever made. Which one would you prefer? Let us know in the comments down below. Until next time.